Everyone in the solo female travel community says not to arrive at night at your destination, but in this case, I didn't have any other choice. These buses were parked right outside the airport, and it cost $8 one way to get to downtown Split. I felt really nervous as the days counted down to me leaving for this trip, but as my travel day progressed, the better I felt and the more I knew that this was the right choice for me. When I first arrived, I was really nervous because it was dark and there weren't that many people around, but I saw this mural of Elvis Presley, as corny as it sounds, and he's just my go-to artist for when I'm feeling down or nervous or sad. After I saw that, I knew I was going to be okay. Even though I'm in Europe for 2 weeks, I'm spending 5 days in Croatia, and the first night I'm spending in Split, so I chose this hostel called Hurricane Hostel. Here's the bathroom. I didn't get any footage of the hostel itself, but it was pretty clean, super basic, and not luxury by any means. It was just a place to sleep. When I woke up in the morning, I immediately started roaming around Diocletian's palace, exploring all of the hidden little passageways throughout the city, and I eventually made my way up to Marjan Park, which I'll show you later. I kind of just wanted to roam around and explore as much as possible. This is Diocletian's palace, the former home to the Roman Emperor Diocletian. It is also now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. After exploring Diocletian's a bit, I started making my way towards the water and came across this little kitten, and I decided to let him decide where I was going to go. So I followed him around for a little while. They always say ask the locals where the best places to go are, and I think this also applies to cats because this cat led me to a really, really pretty spot to take photos and with beautiful views of the water. I parted ways with the kitten and made my way down to the waterfront. I heard that Split had a farmer's market, so I decided to go there to buy some fresh fruit for breakfast. And this is what I ended up getting. I decided to walk up to the statue of Gregory of Nin. Feel free to pause this and read why he is important. A lot of people come here to rub his big toe because it's apparently good luck. So I rubbed his big toe, obviously, and made my way back down to the water to try to find my way to Marjan Park. Wear really good shoes because even though this is a pretty easy hike, there are a ton of stairs. I was just climbing upstairs the entire time. You don't need to do a Stairmaster workout this day. This will be the workout. The views were really, really pretty and definitely worth it, but I ended up having a ton of blisters by the end of this, which stuck with me the rest of this trip. One of my favorite things about Split is there were cats everywhere, and I love cats. I'm a cat person, so I saw this little gem on my walk down from Marjan Park. For the rest of the day, I kind of just roamed around the area and the water. I just wanted to see the water. It was so pretty. Look how pretty that is. Sailing is huge in Croatia, and there's actually a lot of companies that allow you to live on a sailboat with other people. Yeah, you can sail for like an entire week. I know there's one called like Rome Croatia, Sail Croatia, I think is what they're called. But you can live on a boat for an entire week, and next time I come here, I'm probably going to do that because they take you to a bunch of islands and local areas that not all the tourists get to go to. I decided to have a little solo coffee date along the water, and I ordered an espresso cappuccino. I can't remember what I got, to be honest, but I was just there for the views. The water was gorgeous. And then I headed back towards Diocletian's in search of some gelato. And I had a ferry booked for the afternoon to go to the island of Hvar, so I kind of just roamed around, looked for things to do. I went to Zara. I saw some local cat houses that the locals have made for all the kittens to sleep in and hang out at, which is adorable. I just kind of roamed around and made the most of the day. Split has this really cool underground, like, farmer's market, kind of. They sell a lot of jewelry and unique artwork. It was really fun to explore and look around at all the things they were selling. I went back to Hurricane Hostel to pick up my bags and made my way down towards the port to get on the ferry to go to Hvar. Man, I can't talk. The cost of ferry tickets kind of varied. It depended on what time of day you were going, and I believe I paid around between 30 and 45 euro for each one-way ticket between Hvar and Split, which isn't terrible, but I know when I was in Capri it was around 50 euro. So I think I noticed that when I was booking these tickets, it was cheaper to leave really, really early in the morning or to leave like late in the evening. So that's when I tried to book my tickets. When I got off the boat, I put the hostel's address in my Google Maps and started walking that way. First off, first impressions, this place is gorgeous. Love it. 10 out of 10. I'm definitely going to come back here someday. When I was in Hvar, I stayed at the Hostel Villa Scansi, and I paid 28 euro a night, which is super cheap. This was the off-season, just a warning, which was mid to late September, and when they were kind of slowing down with tourism. I looked up what the cost of this hostel was in the high season, and it's closer to 100 euro a night, so just be wary of when you're booking, because sometimes it'll be cheap and sometimes it's very expensive. Okay, time for a hostel tour. So this was the top floor, which is where I came in at, and it has a rooftop bar with like beautiful seating and amazing views of the ocean. Here's the bar, fully stocked. It's not included with the stay, but they have really cheap drinks that are pretty affordable. They even have a VIP lounge, which is pretty fancy. Here's the bar again. So downstairs they have a fully equipped kitchen. Plenty of refrigerator space. In hostels, you just have to label your food with your name and the date of your checkout so they know to throw it away. This is the kitchen from another angle. Gorgeous. There's the seating downstairs. What I really love about staying in hostels is how fast you can make friends. These two girls actually from the United States, they invited me to go out with them to their friend's Airbnb and then bars afterwards. I'm a budget traveler, so the next morning I walked down the hill and grabbed breakfast from the local grocery store, which was yogurt. I ate my breakfast on the top deck, and then after that I walked down to the beach. I made a couple stops along the way to admire the ocean because the water was gorgeous. And this is the beach I ended up at. They actually had a restaurant and a cafe and beach rental chairs that you could use, but I decided to just use a towel. I spent a couple hours here, got lunch with my hostel friends, and then walked back to the hostel. The locals here are super active. I noticed so many people are always out playing water sports or fishing or swimming. After we took a break, my friend Shelby said she had a drone, so we decided to go back out to that same beach and get some drone shots of us cliff jumping. After we were done cliff jumping, we went back to the hostel for dinner because every night we stayed, we had pizza included for dinner. The next morning, I walked around town and tried to find good viewpoints of the city. I found this cute walkway and took some of my first solo pics as a solo female traveler here. And then I continued climbing up as many stairs as possible to get the best views of Hvar. And after all that stair climbing, I was exhausted, so I went to Kava, which is a local coffee shop in Split and Hvar, and got an iced coffee with caramel. I took it down to the ocean and decided to go for a dip. After swimming, I caught up with my hostel friends and we tried out the TikTok famous restaurant Fig. And then we went hiking up to Fortica Fortress, which is at the top of the city of Hvar, for panoramic views of the island. Next, we parted ways and I decided to spend my last hour in Hvar on the beach. Here's a look inside the hostel dorm I stayed in, and this is the bed I slept in. It was actually really nice, very clean, and I loved everybody that was in my dorm room. This dorm room had about 8 beds, I believe, and we had our own private bath off to the left, which was really nice. We had a private shower and toilet. So I packed up my bags, said goodbye to the hostel, and made my way to the ferry. But I decided to roam through the streets of Hvar a little bit one last time. I left pretty late in the evening, so I got to watch the sunset from the boat, which was really pretty. I definitely paid under €50 for this boat ride each way. I can't remember the exact amount, but the ride between Split and Hvar is about an hour long. When I arrived back in Split, I checked into Gravitas Hostel, which I found through Hostel World. Here's some photos of what it looked like on the inside. I stayed in I think it was a 20-person dorm room. But when I arrived, I met a girl in the lobby who invited me to go out with her that night, and a few guys from France. At first I was hesitant because I was really tired, but ultimately I decided I should go and enjoy my time here. I'm only here for 2 weeks, and let me tell you, it was one of the best nights of my life. It was so much fun. They really aren't joking when they say Europeans know how to party. In the United States, we only stay out till like midnight, maybe 1 or 2 in the morning. I stayed out till like 4 in the morning with no issue, and I easily could have stayed up until the sun rose. But I had a tour to Plitvice the next day, so I had to go to bed at 3 in the morning. I was like, sorry guys, I'm having so much fun, but I have to go home so I can get to this tour on time tomorrow. Looking back, I should have just pulled an all-nighter, but it's fine. And running off of about maybe 2 or 3 hours of sleep, I sprinted to the meeting point for my tour to Plitvice. The lady was like, "You're the last person, are you almost here?" And I was like running down the hill to get to the meeting point downtown on time. If you're interested in taking the same tour that I took from Split to Plitvice, I can add the link to my Get Your Guide. It'll be the same tour that I went on, and I highly recommend it. It was very smooth, the tour guide was very kind and very helpful, and it was a great time. Anyways, here's some teasers of what Plitvice looks like, but I'll make a full video of that separately and coming soon. The next day, and my last day in Croatia, I let myself sleep in since I was up really late at the clubs the previous day and was touring all day And I met up with some other solo female travelers, and we decided to walk to the beach and just have a really chill and relaxing beach day, chatting and enjoying the sun. After getting some food, I had to go back to the hostel and grab my bags to catch the bus back to the airport, because for the next adventure on my solo trip abroad, I was going to Rome. So I had to catch my flight from Split to Rome. I bought another $8 bus ticket back to the airport and made my way to my gate. I wanted to see what all the hype was about with Ryanair, so I chose a Ryanair flight and landed in Rome, and stay tuned for my adventures in Rome. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for my next video talking about Plitvice National Park.